If your pivot table is suddenly filled with blank items, you're not alone, and it's usually fixable in minutes. The tricky part is that blank can mean different things depending on your data and your pivot settings. Sometimes it's real empty cells, sometimes it's hidden spaces, and sometimes it's a relationship or grouping issue that creates blanks, even when your source looks fine. In this video, you'll learn a clean, repeatable way to remove or control blank items without breaking your totals. We'll start by identifying where the blanks are coming from. Then we'll fix the source data, adjust pivot table field settings, and cover a few advanced cases like data model relationships and grouped fields. By the end, you'll know exactly which lever to pull: filter, clean, refresh, or redesign, so your pivot table shows only meaningful categories, and you'll still keep accurate counts, sums, and grand totals. Next step. First, figure out what kind of blank you're dealing with. In Excel, a cell can be truly empty, or it can contain a formula that returns an empty string, like Q. Those look identical, but pivot tables often treat them differently. Also, imported data can contain spaces that look empty but aren't. A fast way to diagnose is to go back to the source column that feeds the pivot field showing blank. Filter that column. If you can filter for blanks and you get rows, you likely have truly empty cells. If blanks don't show, but blank still appears in the pivot, you may have empty strings, stray spaces, or a mismatch caused by a join or relationship. Also check whether the blank appears in row labels, column labels, or in a slicer. That location is a clue. Row label blanks usually come from missing category values. Value area blanks can come from missing numbers or errors that got converted. Next step. The most common fix is simply filtering out the blank item inside the pivot table field. This is the quickest solution, and it's fine when blanks represent junk categories you never want to report. Open the Fields dropdown and uncheck blank. If you use a slicer, you can also deselect blank there. The key detail is totals. When you filter out blank, your pivot totals change because you're excluding those records. That's correct behavior, but it surprises people. If you still want totals to include those records, don't filter them out. Instead, replace blanks in the source with a meaningful label like unassigned or unknown. That way, the records remain counted, but they don't show up as a confusing blank category. So think of filtering as a presentation choice, not a data fix. Next step. If you want a clean pivot that still includes every row, fix the source data. The simplest approach is to fill missing category cells with a standard label. For example, if the region column is blank, replace it with unassigned region. You can do this with a helper column. Create a new column next to your category and use a formula like if original cell equals unassigned original cell. Then build the pivot using the helper column instead of the original. This keeps your original data untouched and makes your reporting consistent. If you prefer to modify the data directly, you can select the column, use a filter for blanks, and fill those cells with a label. That's faster, but it changes the data set, so do it only if that's acceptable. The main benefit is clarity. Blank becomes a real category you can explain and track over time. Next step. Now let's handle the sneaky case. Cells that look blank but are actually spaces or non-printing characters from imports. Pivot tables treat those as real values, which can create a blank-like category or split one category into two. To clean spaces, use trim to remove extra spaces. If you suspect non-breaking spaces, trim may not remove them. In that case, use substitute to replace char 160 with a normal space, then trim. A common pattern is trim, substitute A2, char 160, in space. If you're dealing with mixed casing or inconsistent spelling, consider clean plus trim, and optionally upper or proper for standard formatting. After cleaning, refresh the pivot table. You should see categories merge correctly, and blank often disappears because the empty values were actually just junk characters. Next step. Another common cause is formulas returning empty text. For example, VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP might return dot when there's no match. To you, that looks blank. To a pivot table, it's often treated as a blank item. The better approach is to return a real label when a lookup fails. For XLOOKUP, set the IfNotFound argument to something like no match. For older formulas, wrap with if error and return no match or unassigned. Also, watch out for formulas that intentionally return dot for formatting reasons. That's fine in a worksheet, but it creates confusing categories in a pivot. Once you replace empty strings with meaningful labels, your pivot becomes easier to read, and you can actually measure how many records are missing a match, which is often a useful data quality metric. Next step. Sometimes your source data is fine, but the pivot table still shows blank because it's remembering old items. Pivot tables keep a cache of items that have appeared before, even if they're no longer in the data. That can make blank stick around after you've cleaned everything. To fix that, change the setting that controls retained items. In pivot table options, look for the setting that keeps items in the field list, often described as retaining items for each field. Set it to not retain old items. Then refresh the pivot table. Be aware of the trade-off. Not retaining items can remove old categories you might want to keep visible for consistent reporting. If you need stable category lists, you may prefer to keep retention on and instead use a separate dimension table or a manual list. But for most cases, clearing old items is the missing step. Next step. Let's talk about data model pivot tables, where you build a pivot from relationships between tables. In that setup, blank often means something specific. There are fact table rows that don't match any key in the related lookup table. Example, your sales table has a customer ID, but the customers table is missing that ID. The pivot can't find a customer name, so it groups those rows under blank. This is actually a helpful warning. The fix is to repair the relationship chain. Make sure the key columns have the same data type and format. Remove leading zeros mismatches. Ensure there are no extra spaces, and confirm that every key in the fact table exists in the dimension table. If some keys are truly unknown, add an unknown row to the dimension table and map those keys intentionally. That turns a confusing blank into a controlled category. Next step. Grouping can also create blank items, especially with dates. If your date column contains true blanks, text dates, or errors, Excel may group what it can and push the rest into blank. Start by validating the date field. Make sure every value is a real Excel date serial number, not text that looks like a date. A quick test is changing the format to number. Real dates become numbers. Text dates stay as text. For numeric grouping, blanks or non-numeric values can cause the same issue. Clean the column so it contains only numbers and decide how to handle missing values. Either label them or exclude them. After cleaning, remove and recreate the grouping if needed. Then refresh. Grouping is powerful, but it's unforgiving when the underlying data types are inconsistent. Next step. Another detail that trips people up is how pivot tables handle empty values in the values area. If a numeric column has blanks, Excel may treat them as zero in some contexts, but not in others. And if you use count versus count numbers, you'll get different results. If you need to count records regardless of whether the value is filled, use count on a text field that's always populated, like an ID. If you need to count only filled numeric entries, use count numbers on the numeric field. For sums, blanks are usually fine, but errors are not. If your source has #NA or #div0, those can break calculations or force you into workarounds. A clean approach is to add a helper column that converts errors to blank or zero, depending on what the metric should mean. Then your pivot behaves predictably. Next step. If you want to hide blank without filtering out the underlying records, you can control what displays. One method is to replace blanks with a label, which we covered. Another is using a calculated field or a helper column that outputs a display-friendly category. For example, create a category display column that outputs the original category when it's present and unassigned when it's not. Then use that field in rows and slicers. This keeps the pivot interactive and avoids confusing blank selections. Also consider whether you're using show items with no data. That setting can intentionally display categories that have no matching records, which can be useful, but it can also make the pivot feel cluttered. The goal is to decide what the audience should interpret. A blank label is ambiguous. Next step. Here's a simple troubleshooting checklist you can reuse anytime blank shows up. Start with the source column. Filter it and confirm which rows are missing values. Next, check for spaces and empty strings from formulas. Then, refresh the pivot. If the blank still appears, clear retained items so the pivot stops remembering old categories. If you're using the data model, treat blank as a relationship problem until proven otherwise. Verify keys, formats, and missing dimension rows. Finally, consider intent. Do you want to exclude those records or include them under a named bucket? That decision changes whether you filter blank or replace it. Once you work through this in order, pivot table blanks stop being mysterious. They become a signal. Either your data needs cleaning or your model needs a tighter structure. Next step. Let's wrap it up with a practical rule. If blank represents records you still care about, don't hide it. Rename it by fixing the source, so your pivot stays honest and your totals stay complete. If blank represents noise, filter it out and move on. The biggest improvement you can make is standardizing your data before it ever hits the pivot table. Consistent labels, clean keys, and no hidden characters. That prevents blanks, and it also prevents duplicated categories that look the same but aren't. If you want, I can also cover a follow-up workflow for building a small dimension list of allowed categories, so your pivot table stays stable even when the source data is messy. If this helped, subscribe for more Excel problem-solving videos. And in the comments, tell me which one you see most often. A. True empty cells, or B. Lookup no-match blanks. I'm always testing new ways to work smarter. Subscribe to see what workflow I'm breaking down next.